My name is Brian Duffy. I'm the founder of Executive Access Strategies. At Executive Access Strategies, we aspire to partner with the founders and the commercial leaders of early med tech and health tech ventures, whether they're pre commercial or launching their innovation into the marketplace or early revenue. And the problem we solve for is number one, how do you get access to the inaccessible, their ideal customer, whom they engineered their technology to serve, their ideal clients, and the health systems of which they're trying to penetrate and bring their technology into? All of the stakeholders that are associated with those buying, purchasing decisions through consensus and committees. These are the clinical users, but then also the technical, the operational, the economic, the strategic, and even the legal stakeholders. And by design, these executives within health systems are inaccessible to industry, particularly new ventures. So, how do you get access to the inaccessible? That is what we do at Executive Access Strategies. What makes Executive Access Strategies unique is our revenue protocol. And what that means is how do you preserve your burn rate when you're a new venture while also driving commercial adoption of your novel technology? And as a new entry or a new player into the marketplace, this is actually very difficult to do. You're literally on the clock on how to preserve your revenue while also driving commercial adoption and utilization of your new technology. So, how we go about this, again, we execute what's called a revenue protocol as opposed to like a large commercial sales and marketing initiative. Precision micro-targeting using video delivered in a physical asset. That's our algorithm. That's what works for us very well. And again, it allows you to be precise, delivering your strategic narrative or introducing your technology to your ideal customer. And then you do that by delivering video that's personalized to make a personal connection. And this is really the secret sauce. You deliver that video in a physical asset. What that actually does is a couple things. Number one, makes a great first impression. And because it's a physical asset that literally is delivered via Federal Express, when they open it up and they hold it, it surprises and delights them. So again, imagine you're a busy health system executive or a busy physician, and now you're holding a physical asset that when you open it up, it plays a personalized video. What this does for the med tech, health tech venture trying to get access to the inaccessible, it avoids the inbox. It avoids an oversaturated LinkedIn, or it also avoids a large commercialization to the masses investment. And again, it's like precision medicine or precise micro targeting or spear phishing, however you might want to call it. But again, it allows you to get access, attention, and awareness to your ideal customer. So here's how precision micro targeting using video in a physical asset works. So imagine you're a busy clinician or a health system executive and a FedEx like this ends up on your desk, right? You open it up because when someone gets a FedEx, they look at it. And now you're holding a physical asset. So within that one instant, you got access and now you have someone's attention, right? And then they open it up and then maybe they take a look at your value proposition here. But this
Contact Reber as Chief Physician Executive and Chair of Family Medicine there at Lehigh Valley Health Network.
this personalized message to the intended recipient, that's magic. That's the secret sauce. And this is what allows you to make an emotional connection to the person you're sending one of these to. So again, if that's a busy physician or a health system executive, but here's what's also fantastic. A video book also allows you to then incorporate a 1 minute how our technology works. Here's a physician just like you who our technology has served, a health system just like yours, our technology helped solve the problem for. And then here's the best part. The QR code allows the intended recipient to say, like, wow, yeah, I'd like to learn about this. And they scan the QR code when they're ready to engage on their terms. But the magic with a physical asset like this, again, personalized micro targeting using video in a physical asset, is that they're holding it in their hands. They don't throw it away. It sits on their desk and it acts as a reminder. Continuous marketing messaging going to them. Oh, I got to call those guys. I'm interested in that. It avoids the email inbox, avoids LinkedIn, which is kind of saturated, and because it's precision micro targeting to your ideal customers, it allows you to get up over the wall of resistance and get access, attention, awareness, and alignment in one shot. as a frontline sales, marketing, early med tech commercialization person, I couldn't get access, right? And I would send somebody a video and it would just like get blocked by the firewall, or they don't even look at email, right? Or, and if they do, I'm not opening some attachment from some stranger, like especially within a health system. They just don't do that. And then LinkedIn, and it's kind of saturated unless you're connected to that person. So I would be frustrated. I'm like, "Oh, man, video is so compelling and so powerful. I got to find a way to get it up, literally up over the wall." So I just put personalization into this video book to deliver it in a physical asset. This is what I really enjoy about working with the early stage founders who have limited resources and maybe they don't have a chief marketing officer yet, or can't really afford to outsource to a large firm. Again, how do you tell your strategic narrative and storytelling and branding and make it concise and simple? So executive access strategies were more than just video books. We're really kind of that go to market commercialization strategist. We help them with targeting data. We help them with how to penetrate particular markets, justifying why we're going after certain segments of markets with strategy, with measurable outcomes and return on investment. So, again, measuring customer acquisition costs, as well as engaging the marketplace with something unique and different. The way in which we can empower founders to preserve their burn rate while also still getting traction in the marketplace. One question I'll get is, as far as the video books, is how do you scale it? Like how would we scale something like this to make it for everyone? I'm like, that's not what it's intended for. And you don't want to scale this. This is for precision micro targeting those first 25, first 100 ideal customers. So think like spear phishing, if you will. What is really advantageous about this particular medium for delivering content to a customer is that you can measure customer acquisition costs, you can measure long-term value, and what I always say is like when someone says, "How much does it cost?" I say, "Well, what's it worth to get access to your whale, key, strategic, inaccessible person?" And that could change literally the trajectory of a sales rep, a territory, or a market, or a company by just having the right people embrace their technology. One of our most recent success stories I'm really proud of is a really promising company called Inform Surgical, and what they're bringing to the market is truly amazing as far as their ability to match patients when facing surgery with the ideal surgeon that is kind of specialized in that particular patient's complexity and the uniqueness of their case. What Informed Surgical is doing is, again, they're using objective outcomes data to assess surgeons. This is really cutting edge because when we're facing surgery, how do we pick our surgeons? It's usually by referral or opinion, or if it's covered by our health plan. And I really like what Informed Surgical is doing to ensure that the right surgeon operates on the right patient, and then they look at it with the right facility, and it's dramatically improves the quality of surgical care and reducing cost through this unique algorithm. And they're a market disruptor. They're first. They're creating a whole new category, and their customer is large health plans, executives that are not aware of what they're bringing to market, and they're not going to engage with these folks anytime soon. So again, how do you get access to the inaccessible? So this video book that we did for Informed Surgical literally landed on the key executive decision makers' desks of these large health plans. And when we put this program together for them, and it was branded and it talked about what Informed Surgical does, and there was a personalized introduction there from their chief medical officer, Dr. John Porterfield. What I had the pleasure of doing is putting this campaign together for them and then following up with the people we sent these to. We sent these to 50 really difficult to access executives. And when I would follow up with a call and an email, talk to the executive assistant who literally received the FedEx, they would, all of them said to me, "We got your video book thing. That was impressive. We get a lot of stuff all the time and we don't pass it through. Yours got through because we were so impressed by how unique it was, how creative it was. We laughed." And I get this story, this type of feedback pretty regularly. So, and then Informed Surgical was able to have those highly engaging key decision maker conversations from being a new venture to accessing their key targets. So that was really rewarding for me. But I knew that this approach would work for them, and because it's worked for me for years, and I hope it could work for others as well. I was privileged to fall in love with the OR back in 2001 and working with surgeons and being privileged to bring new innovation technology, put that in the hands of a clinician. And that really has always been something I've enjoyed, bringing something new, something different, disruptive innovation. I've been a part of some major, really great organizations, three large strategics, nine different startups, five of which are surgical robotic companies. I like being kind of the first guy through the door. First guy through the door usually gets bloodied, but that's what it kind of takes to bring new innovation into the marketplace. And I think physicians really appreciate that. If it can bring clinical value and then help them operationally, economically, strategically for their practice. So I love this industry. And maybe I'm a bit of an entrepreneur slash technologist. So it's medical technology that, like this conference, for example, is amazing to see what's coming, who's working on what, what's possible in innovation in healthcare. That really drives me. So as a storyteller, how do I help early stage ventures, founders, CEO, commercial leaders? How do I help them tell their story to their ideal customers? Because their innovation is so promising. And again, it goes back to like you're literally borrowing revenue, cash, you're burning cash, other people's money, while at the same time responsible for generating market adoption, market penetration, and revenue generation for your own to show traction in the marketplace. That's a really challenging place for a commercial leader, an investor, or a founder. So that's where I like to be. I like to enable them to get their technology into the hands of the clinicians and the healthcare ecosystems that it's designed to serve for. At the end of the day, this is all about patience. And this is what I love about the OR. I was taught this when I was lucky enough to be with J&J. It's someone on that table in an operating room environment. It's someone's mother, father, daughter, loved one, and, it's a privilege to work with a surgeon or a clinician or, the intersection of medicine, art, science, and then with technology. It's beautiful. Minimally invasive surgery, pushing the envelopes for clinical. It's if I can help these promising ventures take their really amazing technology and get it into the hands so they can serve patients better, that's what I'm going to do. And if I can help them tell their story with something that's compelling, unique, differentiating, makes an emotional connection, differentiates themselves, and helps them generate revenue. That's why I do what I do. I love it.